to understand where we are heading toward, because in the Champions League, league phase, 8 games and yebo. So what it means, they say you bought match day 6 already, so I cut 2 matches. Now 2 matches, nature say, baby, I hear Drew say, Obia be win the final results in the final 2 games. So the league table not to say yeah. You see this thing. Say for a lot of the teams. Because can you imagine? So with the final 2 games to go, Real Madrid that's 7 are all 12 points.
Yeah.
That 12 points means that even Liverpool are outside the automatic qualification slot, which is 9.
Yeah.
Also the same 12 points.
Yes. The same as Dortmund.
The same as Dortmund. Now you know see I know can say after my day says on the Champions League format the attorney say who will qualify first 8 who call run of 16 but from 9 to 24 there mbe playoff home and away and sakwana wait me drew baby first 8 na drew na first 8 na home atwen enti obi a person qualify in the top 8 now look at something see I know can say Liverpool are outside the top 8 Barcelona outside the top 8. Chelsea outside the top 8. Tottenham outside the top 8. Juve outside the top 8. Marseille outside the top 8. In fact, Real Madrid near Atletico Madrid the crown. The same points now more 12. They be the outside the top 8. And it means obia final 2 matches no. Critical. Critical. And you cheat. Okay. Tikovi. And then the Real matches now. Real Madrid versus Monaco at the Bernabeu Stadium. Na Kylian Mbappe a posti way on his socials. In fact, okwane handles are posti way. The Monaco days and then the current time why a big boy wa Madrid. And what trust here because here is where it all started. Na minim so bia woni mi ye bia nim say medically nim Mbappe che na let me tell you one truth. It all started Monaco because I first saw Kylian Mbappe in a Champions League game of Monaco in Man City boy and that game no Kofi Mbappe na share Monaco second goal no and Ushimrika ball any ahodene at this age I was share go no dimrika but I'm say akrabeni then I decided to pay keen attention I want so then I realized the guy is such young and the performance in fact the Monaco days and the Monaco history will never be forgotten over the career because from Clairefontaine a true and true academy boy from France Monaco na jeno now Monaco or chance in obi obeko YouTube akobo Monaco ashim bia be hu say o ma ye a video about the current state here he recorded the video for them how it all started with Monaco any bibia because Monaco no abeye part of the blood he will never forget because at Monaco na akwada wo si so omunya hu ne talent ni so bi da Thierry Henry now in overall minim say kase Mbappe atwa Henry a nkofo be jatuma na omu njintum when it comes to achievement and performance be on me you can say choose one oh say debatable but then Mbappe started walking the path of Thierry Henry because Henry was the youngest ever player to play for Monaco. Mbappe break his record. In fact, he was the youngest player to ever play in the Champions League for Monaco. Again, Mbappe broke that record. He was the youngest ever player to score in a Champions League game for Monaco. Henry, Mbappe could break here. Wow. Now Mbappe in the Champions League, Man City, obey a record as the youngest ever player to score in the Champions League for Monaco and as a French player. And that tells you, so when it comes to Monaco days, Mbappe was set young at Monaco. Teams the same 160 Edinechi. Real Madrid and Yano PSG in 5. So the Monaco days, will never be forgotten. I remember Bernardo Silva can say me or say Mra Mbappe fan free junior team so Umbra senior team and obey training first day before someone introduce no. Now Odimikako Fakao Hakata hey akramen no baba no onimbo baba say twaso yedin we say amu akranti mende and you look at the kind of talent and all here Monaco now and he's facing the former side now Kofi interestingly I think sir on the core pressure no, it was the best decision.
Okay.
Looking at Real Madrid's current situation, he was the best option to go for the presser. Okay. And of course, even though it is against his former side, and you know, every Monaco a big boy. Yeah. Of course, in the current Madrid team, Tchouaméni, of course, as the best midfielder in the league at Monaco, or not to be as our best player before leaving. 80 million a Madrid did far Tchouaméni. So Tchouaméni will be playing against also the former team. And they from young guys or maybe big boys or Real Madrid. Both Kylian Mbappe and then Tchouaméni. Now, why I feel Mbappe was the best person to go for the press conference in here? Oh, sir, Madrid in a very turbulent, or more in that situation now. And when you look at the fans and the team, it looks like separation gap because say Madrid fans who players and say including the president in Fiorentino Perez. Now you know all this. There are a lot of the players are omudina fans and so Opo be a ultimate money din kaso more masano or best bet Kylian Mbappe. Because in fact, when is a Madrid last Champions League game on boy or Bernabeu Stadium, that was against Man City. In fact, in that game, Mbappe didn't play. Yeah. And Obia can because previous season Madrid share Man City, no. Mbappe na twetwe just cover the omo twetwe former she shared those goals. Yeah. So among for him said Obia, the story would have been different. Now the Super Cup. Madrid for him say even though Mbappe be ball kakrebi, but he was very injured, and then no person approve a point. So blame now Madrid for lose, you know, and affecting that match again. Abaseti game no one movie. And the games now Madrid for any more go as you move in the Copa de any adeni on count consistently over more and no no on the beshe go no. So when you look at even Ntokwanis I wrestling ni boy in this year no, and you know and no catch the fans and say they should calm down because you money na fault. And in fact and komono kodi wo ho ka say they shouldn't be mentioning players because it's the best. It's the best because all inclusive winner Emma team no so I'm taking responsibility on betting working around it. So he was the best candidate for the presser. Abeloa won the first Champions League match. Abeloa. Kofi, statistically, even though Real Madrid are not performing that much, but they should win this game because Monaco need form.
Yes.
In fact, Monaco are coming with players now. You know, Ansu Fati there. Yes, Pocognoli. Pocognoli. I'm coach in Sebastian, Belgium. Not too much experienced in the league. Monaco than 9, and they've considered 33. I'm considered 33 goals.
33 goals.
Yes.
Wow.
So that should tell you, sir, when it comes to performance, any defensive weakness there, Monaco team na so money nyehu for Real Madrid at the Bernabeu Stadium. In fact, baby Madrid dano. So mo person mo boni yi nko ade. This is a game I trust them to win. Oh, because Monaco are not that much strong. In fact, in the Champions League, I think they're having 6 points so far in 7 matches. So that should tell you, say, looking at Madrid, in fact, it is the best game to put a lot of the noise around the club to bed. But Sabaseti Ashewa, who am I to trust you? I want to ask him no. No, you have other matches in him. Kofi, in comedy will be ready. Now, me add Arsenal the next because Arsenal the last time now me can't same way. I'm going against Inter Milan, and I've looked at the game keenly because a very dicey game. You see, the last time Arsenal called Interfere 2024, they lost 1-0. And the dynamics of the Champions League when it comes to the league phase in ESA. Because it's a team be a topic group, no one say automatic qualification when ya not also focus on the league, particularly in Arsenal situation. Last season Liverpool chire no the matches na can di agro. Means what was that? And as of now, I cannot trust. Say Arsenal for are going in with all seriousness, and now say how are they going to approach this game because and they Arsenal form the year. The last time I brought this flyer, say they are first league table because league, Arsenal actually 7 points. Now they are first our Champions League table, no so they're in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, still in the FA Cup. So everything is going on very well for Arsenal. Now that they are on top of the Champions League, even though points gap near close, but it secures a more qualification. In fact, a win today, just automatically they're in the top 8. But Arsenal for no better afford it to lose this game, because yes, they will be thinking about their next league game, even though they are on top, because their next league game is against Manchester United. Now, Manchester United performance against Man City, scares everybody because under a new coach, and it gives them belief, mentality, fighting spirit to be a chess. Arsenal for will be playing the Champions League, but the money so war the Manchester United game no so more because now they slipped, and Arsenal for now say omo kwa no omo sign. Omo kwa no omo sign. Bi no tete to no still Arsenal that so omo do ankwanta. Omo that so wo anim he ya. And so omo magam. So it means that omo attention so bi be come Manchester game so. Now the last time Arsenal G League no omo team ne e wo on form no. E ho na me dey trust Arsenal ne. Okay. Because that time, that was 2003, they played against Inter. Yeah. So that time, no na Henry mo echo share Inter 5-1. In fact, Arsenal for now posted reminding everybody because Arsenal last season situation in this season, Arsenal looks better. Until the season Arsenal team G League, need to share Inter 5-1. It just like this season, so Arsenal boy against Inter, no muti me win. A statement say ombe team G League, and that is the level. Meaning what I say, boxes na yetimi ateke no. This game eka ho. 2. Me Arsenal team no, G3 mame. And the say na no mo drop points no. It's a way emphasize Champions anko ya. E betimi kwa be affect omo in the league. So regardless, as Arsenal team ko fight for at least a point. And now say because potentially Arsenal are stronger than Inter this season. Yes, 2 teams will be at the top of the league. Serie A and Premier League. Arsenal at the top Premier League. Inter the top Serie A, but then even comparing coaches plus 2 teams next strength there, still Arsenal looks as the team now who they was ropa. We saw Richmond the picture be flashes so Henry time no Henry na kasa go for pen as match o Zanetti eno omugina wa omoku ni Jesse ho no or Rogers we see them can first and it reminds everybody of the last time Arsenal call winning now Kofi Arsenal will have to put in a lot of work in this very game. Hey, and Arsenal will midfield dominance. Omu be bia. Omu was strength. Me ade ba ko ema me nya Arsenal mu gidie ba ko even if they decide they say omu nko with omu first team na, but numpo with that no. Hey, La Gazzetta dello Sport, Gazzetta Italy. Omu line up na Richmond dey atoso no. Omu say for Arsenal, David Raya will be in post. Saliba Magalhaes, Ben White, any Timber. All the guys will be Mendy Rice, Trossard, Gyökeres, Saka. Kofi, honestly, if Arsenal start this team, intent to mean sure. If Arsenal start on first team now, at the intent to mean sure. Yeah, respect Inter, Jan Sommer, Bastoni, Francesco Acerbi, Barcelona for Adamfo, Manuel Akanji, of course. Or no call pre-match because for England they buy Man City nipa. Now DiMarco, and Luis Enrique, Barella, Zelinski, Susic. Marcus Thuram, Lautaro Martinez. I'm from Turan, but then it will be an interesting battle. Thuram Martinez facing Saliba Magalhaes. Meaning what I say. So I think that Anya Hekran, yen trust Arsenal away or draw be honor. Now other games, my heavy are real. The Bukana no menju omun this abaya assassin. I ask the ball now, my no. In this room, mame. Because quality of players a bit need team say and what didn't say nim in fact as consider a lot I feel say very rare for if they want to even play very well in the Champions League I trust them say game way as so multi-mission what is a PSG in Sporting now PSG for no Champions League from there and found both home and answer away Sporting for no say very stubborn in the Champions particularly when you are playing against them mufi but PSG so a very solid squad so why our team now apart from Hakimi or Ba Afcon what here so other players didn't available into attack Doué Dembele ene Kvaratskhelia Vitinha Fabian Ruiz ene Joao Neves say obi aye fit William Pacho Marquinhos Nuno Mendes and when you look at omu team you understand say ahoden wom honum so I think Paris Saint-Germain or draw nye bad but PSG to win away wins no but I expect to PSG there no and my Copenhagen ne Napoli game denim. Now Kofi, I don't trust Napoli. They be America. But I've looked at Copenhagen and I've realized there be even if Napoli for maybe they might disappoint because they cannot win. But they will not lose this game. Yes, Napoli pa Mekai. Meka nyina me nan ba ko so. Now Napoli Copenhagen the last qualification spot no so. On Napoli now 7.7 points each. But then when you look at recent from the last 2 games in the league crown anwini. Now Copenhagen timi tenafie na small team ababe in the Champions League. Now no last game boy. Yes, she character amati. But Tottenham they 10 against 11 share 4-0. Nti ene na mama hu say Napoli are sampra at least they might pick a point. Man City bebo bodo. Yes, Man City are signing in Magehi. But then the disadvantage is that Magehi Semenyo Wanyo Omumobi. Still, it doesn't negate the attacking strength of Man City because Haaland, Cheki, Foden, Silva, Bernardo Silva, Omunyina are available. And the a challenge them say the Manchester United lineup no because any mu year chire no and one Man City for the beko game with in the Max Allen cushion of money be chire regardless is a game that yes goes to there we might expect maybe a 2 goals or more but then I think still no way team the Haaland ni momo so for Haaland na onya goals no it's a goal be beba this is the day with that I'm trusting Man City say omonso be share ho now AFCON no before say ye dey code ne beba no Kofi you're starting to say Brahim Diaz, in fact, the guy is emotionally devastated. Na statement na Branty and release further states how broken he is. In fact, from the face there, after or say penalty no, our court na a chiro. In fact, or say penalty on the foot of play crown went to me and a coach in the film. He was destroyed. And then Okotena Chile Osunya Obejin award na kurano. In fact, only FIFA president no be no her name no. You could feel it from the face of the even FIFA president and say, or feel it so bad for the boy. When this story will be our basso be team minding him. He was a hero in all the round of games. He was the main guy that we expected. So be better Senegal was going to be him and Ameboa. But then at where it mattered most, and Abranti and Kofi are disappointed. Now, reading from the statement now, or release states every single thing that he's going through today. The last time I chanced on a comment say, Abranti we had no woman. The only person that can really relate to Asamoah, and it's very true. My enke niagro, asem way Asamoah na better boy we have. Here, also my soul hurts. The first line, no, my soul hurts. Looks how powerful this is. I dreamed of this title thanks to all the love you all gave me, every support that made me feel I wasn't alone. I fought with everything I had, with my heart above all else. Ɔsɛ oyi na koma mu nyanti mu a monte ho amunim sɛ ɔsɛ ɔkɔbɔ penalty ne hyɛda ba bia yɛduru ne yɛni agro hwan hyɛda. Yesterday I failed and I take full responsibility. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. Obi o hyɛda na etwetwere we no. It will be hard for me to recover. Asamoah state ni bi. Because this wound doesn't heal easily. Now, imagine how keke sake of time. Or say it will be hard for him to recover because this wound ain't healing easily. So it is good. Obia in emotional support. But then, baby, always is here, there is no amount of we are with you. On the Real Madrid players before the game, ye video wishing all the best. Uncle, Omonso atro comment bebre legends former players. Yes. Kylian Mbappe, Ada Gula, Vinicius, Obi Etwerebi. Okay. But when entimino. So on mine ken no cra friend entimino. Kofi one comment ye negative. Ebe affecting more than say we are seeing na beka say we are with you. Enti te say heavy rain na asem na o kan ye no. Unse Luis Enrique say normal so be best. Of course penalty there. It is the taker who missed. keeper say penalty the other one na say no so definitely so ukobo penalty definitely you will either be a hero or a villain and regardless of the technique let's appreciate Peneka it is part of technique penalty technique or say anything and comfort buafu but a penalty technique. It is better to play Penenka to score than to play a very big shot over the bar. So Penenka a penalty technique. And we shouldn't look at it from the angle say the first of all Penenka just or underrated a penalty. No, it was one of the options you could have gone for and not go for. And it didn't work out. But so show direction so can keep an what about that? Now, do you know what he's going through? And then so Tese Morocco go 50 years without winning the African Cup of Nations. Kofi. Because he will bear the responsibility. So he had the opportunity to cancel that when Timmy or say no. He failed the whole country. Or who say Senegal for jubilated the trophy net Lupremu kwa. Or no be feel pain no because of you say new money pressure and stress now or woman. Kofi or no enama Senegal for this idea no again. After the game, Algeria for near the baby and obi had the phone. They are emotionally broken. Or who pictures like this? In fact, Obi will say he is responsible. That's how he will feel. Kofi, it do say ya on word on tiasem. Means what man say on tiasem. And the career also is at risk. At this particular moment, or who baby say yeah, or bear the responsibility. Say or no, in fact, as of now, your uncle or wow, I'm him how to handle their emotions. And to announce in order to heal. Ebe trotro said in some hunu, and now say in some Ibrahim Diaz, not because he hates the player, no, but also in healing, no. Ebe kekadi your patro. Now him say sometimes so beat him lusua. One hour report case in can only do at him. And just one time, but he feels emotionally hurt into a year baby to heal. Some crofoni in our bed, no, or no the best one. Meaning what was ya? Now, so I'm on next 2 years, AFCON. Now, yeah, he will feel Zenko on the day of Mojaya. And Cassam in 50 years, then standing go 52. And I'm a boy. So that is the state that the boy is in. Now, who's a number can be uncle Masaba? Meka chemo say Mendi ne man say penalty no Mendi na nkasa ni profile na yambo de penenka because Aguero bo penenka ordinary nsaba ko na che no we na ko bo de penenka maka chemo African keeper onto no ho de bia no ansa na bo African keeper beto no wa bobo no enu nti na majority of the time African keeper ankwanya direction na bo na twam because onto no ntem entu bo penenka no onto no ho dada na wa che ni wo mfini meboa okay aha eno say penalty no obi anhwe bi ya no say penalty no time amend be gina na nchen no in fact e wo mu say pressure ne mount hili ye kese at the break ne ye mobiem ne bibia but aha eno say penalty no because Messi player no the last 3 penalties na what dia fa to ye keeper na okọ ne nchen ya you tell him say minimum be adebefa the moment I will catch the player when he has intended say ehona eso obofa because the keepers onimba bi a odebefa oba o chiro so onimba bi a odebefa ne say nipa na ebe bo afa why chese ho na any strength so obetime nya direction but precision ne power ne ntia bia wontime nche no so it is better so obeye ni bibi obechanyi direction no because it gives you advantage majority of the time so obi on the penalty obofa left a wonim kra wontime nche no means what man say just o keeper keza bonu de ni no akogina ho dada atwen but say wanye saa ono sesa direction ido obeba afa nchen ana ontimi mo ne ye so osesa na adwen no yeden oyese oba afa mfini ana o che no so in fact a lot of psychological thing ne kom e ma na say ne nyese o sheda for ne say minim say mo agya kakra
no mo agya
Morocco doing everything possible ko fi video na me de kira wo no ya twi obi bu support ya tinimu ya buru bia mo mawu so o sheda
ya kura yanko sabi su kura na
ya tinimu setaya o si o sheda here obi onu di refuge Japan timaye wa twame okoje penalty wie ya o sheda am say ye free bibi say fair play ko bi fair play ne trophy wo pede hen
me pet trophy
nti hoy ne be ka say o fair play dia say na mo keka no no Madrid Morocco coach ne so aha na mo amosi mo Morocco ne mo ntie me no
yaire
kofta go Minim se wonu nkomo we ya because I've posted this on Facebook and it's very interesting. Say yabo AFCON awie. And after the African Cup of Nations, unim say ade chen ye no. What was trending on Twitter? Any media ni so nyina na yetawo. Abia yabo AFCON awie no. Asem ni nyina ne say Morocco for ni decide say no matter what tawo na mandi de paper nensa no. There is no way o mema na use tawo no. O metam. Onu akire mu say osesans ne tawo still o me yeden o me fine. Now, this is the story this morning. Yes, say the Senegalese decided to leave their towels in the locker room in case Morocco needs them. Nti yes, omo po ye no omo dressing room. I'm say, hey, towel dey say yaje cab na wi ti towel na fe yaje gu ho. Mo ba mo mefa. Nti men di towel. Dia na mo se mo pe o. Dia mo pe se mo de towel ne koye no. Mo mefa. Omo mo knockout.
Ye ga he.
Mo carry. Now, amanfo bo coach na chi na every honestly say wanya de and omama na ban and so every do you know why Kofi Tago?
Yeah.
Let's be very honest. This coach ebia unim no he has not lost a competitive football match. Unim Walid Regragui because of European exposure, but I can tell you I coach we parties or the Papi Tiao. Ni team now wa build the Senegal team. Say me can before say Omudru final cra. You stronger than Morocco team there that hono.
Okay.
And to be put in this work, this effort. Now when you again say kwambia so ube miano aje AFCON no.
Okay.
CAF president na say no say Morocco for na GBBA host no. Nim guase and it's federal state say CAF for no munya yanko be ma Morocco awene. I didn't know I say BBA host here Morocco for na GBBA. Me say in the Onim Africa history oye bilo no anya business no ba ha. But say Ghana yanji obi AFCON host team another. Nigeria yanji obi AFCON host team another. Unim other countries are Cote d'Ivoire nyo obi AFCON oji host here no. And the man the last 5 years and that I will say Morocco for na AFCON host too. Omukra no mzo omupe Europe AFCON kra no mo respect
you.
And the more you say that the more it feels like CAF for nyina ta Morocco for echi meaning so atma say regardless the last time AFCON ebo Cote d'Ivoire no hu ne say
yeah come on.
And the burden of what disrespecting countries be because you think say Morocco for Oscar.
Okay.
Now coach na sheshe team we yato ho. Now if you don't know the standard of Senegal, the last 4 African Cup of Nations amako final 3. And no coach Aliou Cisse no do amakomu 2 no ya sake no. This very coach abe take over why every the team na do final. Coach referee ni o me koso ba kumienu players onkofo we ye de omo betimi bia every foul means on person omodeje cap on person omodeje no react to that. Now at the end of the day ni team number be save penalty and one on the NCC ama no obo shot in a share goal no waje ne cap no ko jubilate a o say one o say wanya de na enka onyai no ntene ho na nka samre no ewiase nyina nka say Senegal coach ne de wa ya de pa obo no mo de Senegal fo be ball na emom no referee officiating na asa anko ye e ma Morocco je ka da bi o eni am no ka say Senegal je AFCON no 2 after this week eno ne e be kai now omukro mu ho no eni na me ne wo kokon e yakon ne yaba Kofi o say me so me who use tactics against me na me so adwe bi ba me tri na me improvise use tactics even if what he did was wrong the outcome was right because at the end of the day no Morocco were doing everything possible to win the trophy so he had to also do everything possible within his power to also win the trophy. Now also finding indefinite ban definitely indefinite ban in Chelsea are banning forever.
Yes.
Duration beba. Whether team ni benya fine, duration beba. But it is better. Say ombenya sa fine no. No mo de cap na ko twiso o mu krom. Na be your second trophy because AFCON Ghana go for 8 years. You might not know when you are going to win again. Meaning what must say. Na coach na be one of the coaches in the history of Africa so maje AFCON. Na when the CV so with a ban. Dan so be muamua. Na ya hye no because ade na nkrofo yiye. Bibia kire say na nkombe bu o mo nsem say pay adi kru anako. Enti o mo say setawo no na mo pa. O mo jatawo no dressing room. Kofi Makakofa. Mkakofa town no. Why? Akimi ne Ismail Sabari na town ti. Na me who be that say assistant keeper. Kufitago. Assistant keeper. Ya so the liability. David na unim say in any case. Security reasons inti. Players no. Sesenka security for no kwa alama wo catch and put me do onsa touch no.
Oh yes. But always
they allowed. Aba wo chesi no dibika. No ma so ne na ye criminal wo yakase ye beje tower no. Ye beje. Assistant keeper dey gina pole ne nchen. And ode ne nsa gu ne bu no kura mendi tower no.
Obi go pe. Azima pa na se.
Oh, it wo ye de obe bia de cap.
Ball guy cry ye mama ko ye nduru. Ye nkoy.
O mako ye nsuo, ye mfiu kura. Kofita go.
Ye.
Ene code no. Wetu me send am say be ya de beto so kama. Na me nsa me de aba say ade nya nche sa. Okay. Betway obi antworo because na mahwemi ye pa akofita go. On say akọ 1 week ni. Me fan say o mutrimi ye o mo de. Edi 1 week no mo ndi game na o mo bu afu.
Na de na me